is SMNI News Channel. Truth that matters.
This program is rated PG. Contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
In the headlines, a powerful 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck southwestern Colombia, killing more than 260 people and injuring thousands. Emergency crews and volunteers in Cali continued searching damaged areas and assisting displaced survivors. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan reaffirmed support for a two-state solution during a summit in Ankara. Meeting Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, Erdogan called for an immediate ceasefire and greater international pressure to end the conflict. The death toll from the latest Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo has surpassed 2,000. Health workers in Ituri province face violence, resource shortages, and community mistrust as they step up efforts to contain the virus. Former Budget Secretary Benjamin Diokno blamed budget misallocations, poor execution, and corruption for the Philippines' economic slowdown. Diokno rejected Malacanang's claim that global tensions are solely to blame, pointing to domestic failures instead. Vice President Sara Duterte's defense panel pushed back against prosecution objections on day 15 of her impeachment trial. Counsel insisted prosecutors have no right to restrict their cross-examination of a key witness. And a special Iberia Airlines flight carried researchers and astronomers above the clouds for an uninterrupted view of the total solar eclipse. The chartered Airbus observed totally from 33,000 feet over Palencia, Spain. I'm Prince Tripoli. Newsline World starts now. For our first story, a desperate race against the time in southwestern Colombia. A powerful 7.4 magnitude earthquake has killed more than 260 people and injured thousands. But amid the devastation, volunteers in the city of Cali are rallying to help. Wait, Agustin tells us more.
Thousands of volunteers are filling up plazas and stadiums across Cali. They are forming human chains to move massive shipments of food, water, and medical supplies. They're also packing up helmets and goggles for recovery crews. Organizers are coordinating deliveries to hard-hit neighborhoods and surrounding municipalities.
Acá hemos recibido de todo tipo de donaciones, alimentos no perecederos, materiales de hidratación, materiales también de construcción o insumos de construcción para poder ayudar a sacar todos los escombros como cascos, guantes, gafas.
Security camera footage from the Hospital Universitario del Valle captured part of the pediatric building's facade collapsing during the quake. Medical staff evacuated critical ward to parking areas and outer corridors, setting up improvised triage stations and a temporary neonatal unit to maintain care. As crews search collapsed structures, disaster officials are urging residents to avoid unnecessary travel in affected areas and keep roads clear for heavy machinery and ambulances.
Pero realmente el mensaje es que la gente que viene solamente a mirar y a quedarse por allí, pues mejor se quede en la casa realmente. En este momento podrá sonar de pronto extraño, pero hay exceso de ayuda. Como pueden ver, esto está colmado de gente. No hay espacio para trabajar, no dan vía para cuando tienen que moverse un carro, cuando tienen una máquina. Entonces, la mejor ayuda que puede tener la gente es desde su casita o desde otro lugar ayudar con donaciones, con medicamentos, pero venir acá a esto, a quedarse parado mirando, no es buena idea.
According to Colombia's National Unit for Disaster Risk Management, the earthquake has killed 265 people, injured nearly 3,500 and left hundreds unaccounted for. With national emergency declarations in effect, search and rescue operations continue alongside community relief efforts across the region. This has been Fede Agustin, your global citizen correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
A massive firestorm is exploding along the Nevada-California border. Multiple fast-moving wildfires have swallowed more than 100,000 acres, triggering massive mandatory evacuations across hundreds of square miles north of Reno. Jane Cudnita has the details.
Fire crews and aerial water bombers are battling large wildfires burning through dry grass and sagebrush along the Nevada-California border. Fueled by gusty winds, extreme heat, and critically low humidity, the bug fire has grown past 70,000 acres after merging with the Fred Mountain Fire stretching from US 395 in California to Winnemucca Ranch Road in Nevada. Just to the east, the Stallion Fire is raging out of control near Pyramid Lake. That blaze has scorched more than 33,000 acres, triggering a state emergency declaration. Thousands of families across Washoe County had been forced to flee their homes. Truckee Meadows fire and rescue crews are using heavy machinery and hand lines to protect structures, while fixed-wing aircraft drop fire retardant to slow the fire's erratic spread. Right now, mandatory evacuations cover more than 500 square miles. Emergency shelters and livestock rescue sites are open across the Reno-Sparks area. Fire commanders warn that shifting winds and parched land are making containment nearly impossible. This has been Jane Cudnita, Global Citizen Correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
A high-stake diplomatic meeting in Ankara. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is reaffirming his nation's unwavering support for a two-state solution during a joint press conference with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Rahil Parba has the details.
Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan hosted Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in Ankara on Wednesday for talks on regional security and the crisis in the Palestinian territories. Erdogan reaffirmed Turkey's support for a two-state solution while criticizing Israel's military operations and actions around holy sites in Jerusalem and Hebron. President Abbas thanked Ankara for its diplomatic backing and highlighted the security coordination with regional partners. He said lasting peace depends on ending the occupation and establishing a sovereign Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. The Ankara meeting comes as international talks continue over post-conflict governance, disarmament, and security arrangements in Gaza. Both leaders say their next diplomatic push will focus on protecting holy sites and fighting for broader global recognition of Palestinian statehood. This has been Rahil Parba, your Global Citizen Correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
The death toll from the latest Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo has surpassed 2,000 as health workers face violence, resource shortages, and community mistrust in Ituri province. Rahil Parba is back for more news.
In Bunia, the capital of Ituri province, health workers are enforcing strict infection control protocols as the Democratic Republic of Congo battles its 17th Ebola outbreak. World Health Organization figures show more than 4,400 cases and over 2,000 deaths, with roughly 80% of fatalities in Ituri. Medical teams continue treating patients under severe resource constraints as fear grows across the region.
C'est vraiment inquiétant, mais ça ne nous empêche pas de faire notre travail parce que notre souci est que nous puissions un peu contribuer du temps qu'il faut pour que nous puissions quand même contribuer à la réduction de cette élévation des chiffres par rapport à la mortalité liée à la maladie à virus Ebola. C'est comme ça que tu nous vois en train de travailler. Nous faisons le nécessaire de notre mieux à notre niveau. Nous travaillons, comme vous avez trouvé, avec les mesures barrières possibles que nous sommes capables d'appliquer, liées aussi à notre moyen. Nous ne pouvons pas fermer les structures et laisser les malades à leur propre sort.
A recent study published in Nature Medicine suggests the outbreak likely began with a new animal-to-human spillover involving a rare strain of the virus. Public health experts warned that ongoing armed conflict, widespread displacement, and fear of medical facilities are delaying vital case detection and contact tracing, allowing community transmission to surge.
La progression de l'épidémie ne signifie pas que la riposte ne fait rien. Mais toutefois, elle montre plutôt que les interventions sont dans un environnement extrêmement difficile. Et donc, plusieurs facteurs combinés expliquent cette progression, notamment la transmission communautaire. Et lorsqu'une famille a peur, par exemple, des structures sanitaires, lorsqu'une famille a peur des équipes, des ripostes, cela peut vraiment faire en sorte que certains cas ne soient pas vraiment détectés.
The World Health Organization warns this could become the second largest Ebola epidemic on record. Residents and local leaders in Bunia are calling on the central government for more medical resources and protective measures to contain the spread. This has been Virgil Parba, your Global Citizen correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
Up next, former Budget Secretary Benjamin Diokno blamed budget misallocations, poor execution, and corruption for the Philippines' economic slowdown. Diokno rejected Malacanang's claim that global tensions are solely to blame, pointing to domestic failures instead. Vice President Sara Duterte's defense panel pushed back against prosecution objections on day 15 of her impeachment trial. Counsel insisted prosecutors have no right to restrict their cross-examination of a key witness. And a special Iberian airline flight carried researchers and astronomers above the clouds for an uninterrupted view of the total solar eclipse. The chartered Airbus observed totally from 33,000 feet over Palencia, Spain. More news after the break.
Taon-taon, kwento sa bawat kwento, katotohanan sa bawat katotohanan. Mula pa sa pasimula, malinaw ang aming misyon. Magbigay ng tamang impormasyon, maglantad ng katotohanan, manindigan sa lahat ng oras, lalo na't kinakailangan. Hindi lang minsang kinilala, kundi muli at muli. Sa likod ng bawat paglala ay katotohanang naibahagi. Isang tinig na narinig. Isang katotohanang umabot sa bawat Pilipino. Sa kabila ng nagbabagong panahon, sa kabila ng mga pagsubok, nananatili ang aming paninindigan. Ang pundasyon namin ay katotohanan. Ang lakas namin ay tiwala ng mamamayang Pilipino sa loob at labas ng bansa. Maraming salamat po. SMNI, para sa Diyos at sa Pilipinas nating mahal.
And we're back. Former Budget Secretary Benjamin Diokno is pointing to internal missteps, including budget misallocation, poor execution, and corruption, as the main reasons behind the country's economic slowdown under the Marcos administration. While Malacanang attributes the dip to global tensions, Diokno argues that the problem lies within our own borders. Jane Cunita reports.
The Philippine economy slowed to 2.3% growth in the second quarter of 2026, a sharp drop from previous quarters. While Malacanang claims the dip is temporary and largely driven by global conflicts, former Budget Secretary Benjamin Diokno says blaming outside forces is a mistake. He stresses that domestic issues are the true culprit.
I think this is largely domestic-driven. Kasi pwede nating i-blame yan sa gera sa Russia versus Ukraine or sa sa US versus Iran. Pero hindi po yung tamang. That is a wrong explanation. It is mostly domestic-driven. The sharp decline of the economy could be blamed to misallocation of the national budget.
Jokno highlights four critical issues: budget misallocation, wrong spending priorities, poor project execution, and rampant corruption. He criticizes the government's shift toward cash doleouts or ayuda instead of funding programs that generate jobs and drive long-term growth.
That the quality of spending has also weakened. Spending priorities have shifted away from job creating and growth enhancing programs and towards social grants. Puro ayuda. Nakita niyo yung budget ngayon, napakadaming ayuda that are more vulnerable to political patronage.
For Jokno, it is not just about the amount of cash aid handed out to the people. Instead, he says the real focus should be whether that government money is actually creating jobs and driving economic growth.
Ang problema dyan sa ayuda, actually hindi naman yan talaga leakage-free. Being nice here. Leakage means yung napupunta kay congressman at senador. No? Maraming talaga leakage yung mga ayuda. So, at saka kung magbibigay ka rin lang ng ayuda, mabuti bigyan mo na lang siya ng trabaho. Diba?
Instead of relying heavily on cash grants, Jokno proposes redirecting funds toward essential public works programs such as construction, river dredging, and agricultural planting.
Sa tingin ko, mas gusto ng Pilipino na bigyan siya ng trabaho kaysa bigyan siya ng ayuda.
Jokno also issued a stark warning regarding the ballooning portion of the national budget allocated strictly to debt interest payments, which now accounts for 21.4% of the budget. That figure is a significant jump from the previous target of around 13% according to Jokno. He also raised flags over the projected budget deficit for 2027, which sits at 5.1% of GDP, far exceeding the original 3.2% benchmark.
Pero ngayon, sa sinabit na budget, ang deficit natin is 5.1. So malaking bagay yun, yung 5.1 versus 3.2. Several hundred billions yun, difference nun. So, sa manggagaling yun, panghihiram tayo ng pera, domestic and foreign. Ang sino magbabayad nun? Yung future generation.
Another key area of concern is declining infrastructure spending, projected to drop from 5.17% of GDP down to less than 4%. Jokno says controversies over flood control projects should not lead to blanket cuts in overall infrastructure investments.
Dapat we have to invest in infrastructure. So the mere fact na, of course, nagka-problema sa mga flood control projects, pero halimbawa, kailangan talaga na ekonomiya natin ay 500 billion, di dapat yung i-allocate, no? Hindi yung porque tinatamaan kayo sa mga batikos, babawasan mo.
All these factors, Jokno warns, erode both investor and consumer confidence, creating policy uncertainty that stalls economic momentum.
So that means nawalan ng confidence sa taong bayan, ang taong bayan sa gobyerno.
Thank you, sir. Less production.
He pointed to premature political maneuvering, including the charter change signature drives in 2023 and 2024, as a major trigger for public hesitation. Jokno added that uncertain economic direction causes both local consumers and foreign investors to hold back on committing new capital. Still, the former DBM chief believes the current administration still has time to correct course and rebuild trust.
Never give up. The 2 years yun eh. Madami ka pang magagawa sa 2 years. So, siguro as a way of correcting the errors in the past, sige-sige lang. Tsaka, alagaan mo talaga yung pera ng bayan. Walang masasayang. And then, prioritize mo talaga yung projects. Hindi yung projects ni congressman o senador.
Jokno previously served as budget secretary under the Arroyo, Aquino, and Duterte administrations. This has been Jane Coniter, citizen correspondent reporting for Newsline World.
Vice President Sara Duterte's defense panel stood its ground amid a barrage of prosecution objections on the day 15 of the impeachment trial, insisting the prosecution has no right to dictate how they cross-examine key witness Silene May del Campo. Sheena Torno breaks down the heated courtroom clash.
Tensions flared immediately as the defense panel began cross-examining prosecution witness Silene May del Campo from COA's Special Audit Team on Wednesday. Private prosecutor Attorney Lorna Capunan repeatedly objected when defense counsel used their own copy of audit observation memorandums rather than the prosecution's marked exhibits.
If counsel wants to confront the witness with documents she has identified, she has to use the prosecution's evidence because that was the one identified by the witness. We will
She can confront
have a continuing objection. Excuse me, counsel.
Defense counsel Attorney Christine Ferrer held her ground, warning the prosecution not to dictate her cross-examination strategy.
Your Honor, we have prepared, I am showing the defense document. The counsel cannot
We will
dictate
not
how I
agree,
will
Your
proceed
Honor.
with my cross-examination. Can the counsel, Your Honor, be reminded that I'm on cross-examination?
We will not agree.
Presiding officer Senator Cheese Escudero overruled Capunan's objection, permitting the defense to proceed with its own documentation.
Counsel, that water is already under the bridge. You may request assisting counsel to check the copy being presented to Ms. Eileen, and you may make it the subject matter of your redirect later on.
Thank you,
The
Your
presiding
Honor.
officer will allow the counsel to present that document.
Thank you, Your
Attorney
Honor.
Christine, you may proceed.
With a green light to proceed, the defense zeroed in on key inconsistencies in COA's audit findings. Defense attorneys focused their cross-examination on what they call major contradictions in Del Campo's audit findings. They took aim at how Del Campo reviewed liquidation files and responses from both the Department of Education and the Office of the Vice President. Defense lawyer Ferrer pushed further questioning whether 2015 Joint Circular allows officials to use a direct notice of disallowance without sending a suspension notice first.
In the case of the first and to third quarters, wala ho kayong in-issue na notice of suspension. Tama ho?
Wala pong notice of suspension.
Therefore, the Vice President, Office of the Vice President, was not able to comment on any supposed finding of the COA. Walang opportunity ho na magbigay ng comment yung Office of the Vice President bago pa ho ma-issue yung notice of disallowance. So walang naibigay na oportunidad para mag-comment ang Office of the Vice President to any notice of suspension na hindi naman na-serve.
Wala pong notice of suspension na na-issue.
Thank you.
Del Campo maintained COA bypassed the suspension stage because auditors found clear irregularities in confidential fund disbursements. However, the defense stressed that issuing a notice of suspension first is a mandatory requirement under due process. They pointed out that the Joint Circular 2015-01 contains no provision allowing auditors to jump straight to notice of disallowance. Attorney Capunan pushed back as the defense pressed further.
Your Honor, the counsel is being argumentative with the
No,
witness.
I'm just asking a question. Sabi ko,
What is the question again?
ang question ko, despite of all of those reports, dinisallow nyo pa rin yung payment of rewards. Kasi sabi ninyo, no proof of success. Diba ho?
Argumentative, Your Honor.
Hindi,
That is the finding of this
Kaya nga
witness.
sinasabi ko attorney, kaya nga kinukonfirm ko ho.
The exchange stems from Ferrer pressing Del Campo on why COA disallowed funds under the OVP's Protective Intelligence Operations Report. Del Campo testified that paying rewards to informants is only permissible if there is a clear proof that the information yielded successful results.
Sabi nyo nga, dinisallow nyo yung rewards kasi nga walang evidence of success ng information gathering. Tama ho?
Opo.
Okay.
Under cross-examination, however, Del Campo conceded that Joint Circular 2015-01 explicitly permits crime prevention as a legitimate confidential activity. The defense argued this provided a legal and valid basis for the OVP's protective operations. Del Campo ultimately admitted under oath that her requirement for proof of success on informant reward was based on her own personal interpretation, not an explicit rule enjoined Circular 2015-01. That admission came after presiding officer Senator Chase Escudero admonished the auditor for enforcing standards that do not exist in the official guidelines. For God and for my beloved Philippines, this has been Sheena Torno, SMNI News.
A political commentator, Joe Moreno, is speaking out after the Department of Justice twice dismissed a cyber libel complaint filed against him by Senator Risa Hontiveros. Moreno claims the senator's legal action highlights a troubling attempt to silence critics, arguing it raises serious questions about her presidential ambitions. Angie De Leon tells us more.
One of the biggest lessons I've learned from that situation, Ina, is that Risa Hontiveros doesn't deserve to become the president of the Philippines. Why? She silenced critics.
The Philippine Justice Department has twice dismissed a cyber libel complaint filed by Senator Risa Hontiveros against political commentator Tio Moreno, an experience Moreno calls a major lesson in leadership. Speaking on SMNI's Small Talk, Moreno said the lawsuit stemmed from commentary he wrote regarding witness Michael Maurilio, alias Rene, who recanted his previous Senate testimony concerning the kingdom of Jesus Christ. In his recantation, Maurilio alleged Hontiveros paid him 1 million pesos to lie and testify against Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy, former President Rodrigo Duterte, and Vice President Sara Duterte. Allegations the senator firmly denies. Following the incident, Moreno wrote his perspective, highlighting what he called a pattern of alleged witness tampering by the senator, referencing previous past controversies.
Ang linaw ng sinulat ko, hindi yun libelous, kaya nga twice dinismiss.
Na-dismiss na, oh.
Kaya nga twice na-dismiss yung kaso kasi after na-dismiss, nag-MR pa siya. So, ang sinasabi ko lang kasi at that time is, di ba lumabas yung alias Rene, and then, di ba, he made his testimony, he publicized it. And of course, it's for public consumption because it was publicized.
Yes.
Di ba? So, ang ginawa ko, I wrote my own opinion about it. Sinasabi ko na there's really a pattern of Risa Hontiveros tampering witnesses. Tapos ginamit ko yung mga news articles before na ganyan yon, yung sa wiretapping niya, yung sa kay Jing Paras na yung may bata.
Back in 2017, former Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre II and former Congressman Jacinto Jing Paras filed anti-wiretapping charges against Hontiveros. Hontiveros maintained the photo was taken accidentally by a media practitioner. Later that year, Paras filed additional complaints with the Ombudsman, including kidnapping and obstruction of justice, alleging Hontiveros illegally withheld 3 minor witnesses in the Kian de los Santos killing without court approval. Hontiveros defended her actions as providing protection. Meanwhile, Moreno added that his use of a specific nickname in his post was also cited in Hontiveros' complaint.
And then, pag tingnan mo yung complaint niya against me, nagalit siya attorney because tinawag ko siyang Risa Tanas. Risa, there are ilang millions na ba? 120 million Filipino people na tumatawag sa'yo na Risa Tanas ka, tapos ako lang ang kinasuhan mo.
Tio believes that taking legal action against critics reveals an imbalance in leadership.
One of the biggest lessons I've learned from that situation, Ina, is that Risa Hontiveros doesn't deserve to become the president of the Philippines. Why? She silenced critics. Yan yung sinasabi ko na yan yung lesson ko na hindi lahat ng mga tumatakbong Pangulo deserving of that position, and the biggest example there is Risa Hontiveros. Kasi pag pinapatay mo yung critics mo, wala nang wala nang balance sa leadership mo because ikaw na lang yung masusunod. Ano ka ba, diktador?
Small Talk host Attorney Ferdinand Topacio expressed agreement with Moreno's position.
As in fact, we filed an ethics case against her for the same reason.
In August 2025, Attorney Topacio, former Congressman Jacinto Paras, and Attorney Manuelito Luna jointly filed an ethics complaint against Hontiveros, citing disorderly behavior and witness tampering tied to the recantation of alias Rene. Hontiveros previously stated she is seriously considering a presidential run in 2028 as her supporters launch the Risa Na movement. Angie De Leon, your global citizen correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
Consecutive tropical cyclones and heavy monsoon rains have caused 197 million pesos in agricultural damage. But officials say rice supply and prices will remain stable. Creslin Catarang reports.
Widespread flooding caused by tropical cyclones Luis and Maymay, along with the Habagat, has battered thousands of hectares of crops and vital farm infrastructure. The Department of Agriculture reports total agricultural damage has hit 197 million pesos. Department of Agriculture spokesperson Assistant Secretary Arnel de Mesa said the latest figures were consolidated from DA regional field offices and local government units. Rice fields took the hardest hit, accounting for 143 million pesos in losses. Vegetables and high-value crops suffered 30 million pesos in damage, while irrigation facilities incurred 15.8 million pesos in destruction. Despite the heavy impact on rice fields, De Mesa noted that a large portion of the affected crops can still recover.
Bagamat malaki yung naging epekto sa palayan at 143 million, base naman po doon sa pag-analyze natin ng datos, of the total 6,700 hectares na nagkaroon po ng damage, about 5,700 hectares po nito, malaking bahagi ay partially damaged lamang at may chance pa po ng recovery.
Only 976 hectares were classified as totally ruined. To speed up recovery, regional offices are preparing rice and corn seeds along with fertilizers for immediate distribution to affected farmers.
Under our recovery and rehabilitation effort under sa ating Quick Response Fund, priority natin yung mga nasirang irrigation facilities, lalo na kung ito po ay nasa mga distribution system natin.
Meanwhile, the DA does not expect any major spikes in price of basic agricultural commodities, particularly rice, in the coming weeks. De Mesa explained that lost rice production is estimated at just 4,500 metric tons, a tiny fraction of the nation's 20 million metric tons annual output.
So dahil po dyan, wala po tayong inaasahan na paggalaw sa presyo ng ating agricultural commodities, lalo na po yung sa bigas.
On the other hand, the official noted minor price fluctuations as lowland farms in central Luzon and southern Tagalog suffered crop damage. However, because vegetable crops recover quickly, the official said price impacts will remain minimal. Reporting for Newsline World, this has been Creslin Catarang, SMNI News.
Chasing totality from 33,000 feet. A special Iberia Airlines flight took to the skies above Spain on Wednesday, carrying researchers and astronomers high above the clouds for a perfect view of the total solar eclipse. Joy Tabanao has the story.
Spanish airline Iberia transformed an Airbus A321XLR into a high-altitude observation platform on Wednesday, operating a charter flight to intercept the total solar eclipse over northern Spain. Flight IB1473 departed Adolfo Suarez Madrid Barajas Airport, carrying scientists and researchers from the Cielos project. The aircraft climbed to 33,000 feet, rising above low clouds and atmospheric distortion for a clearer view of the eclipse. The path of totality crossed eastern Greenland and Iceland before reaching northern Spain, passing over locations including Leon, Valladolid, and the Balearic Islands. Down on the ground, an estimated 15 million people gathered across the country to watch. It is a historic moment. This is the first total solar eclipse visible from mainland Spain since 1905. Up in the air, scientists used brief minutes of darkness to study the sun's outer corona. The crew used high-speed satellite internet to stream live video back to Earth the exact moment the moon blacked out the sun. This has been Joy Tabanao, your global citizen correspondent reporting for Newsline World.
Amid the challenging recovery efforts following the 7.4 earthquake that struck Monday, a heroic team of four-legged rescuers is bringing unmatched sniffing skills to affected communities across Western Colombia. Stella Marie has a story.
In Colombia, 10 elite search and rescue dogs working alongside 22 devoted handlers from the National Police Specialized Ponalsar Unit have become the brightest light on the ground in cities like Cali, Pereira, and Manizales. For these highly trained canines, the intense task of searching through debris is approached with eager focus and joy, treated like the ultimate game of hide and seek, where finding a human scent earns them their favorite treat. Beyond their incredible ability to navigate tight spaces and track scents far beyond human capabilities, the furry responders have become uplifting companions for exhausted emergency workers and local families. Between search rotations, the dogs offer gentle nudges, happy tail wags, and playful moments that lighten the mood amidst the ongoing response. Their enthusiasm and deep bond with their handlers serve as a heartwarming reminder of hope, resilience, and the power of human canine teamwork when it is needed most. As emergency crews and their tireless canine partners continue their vital mission, rescue operations remain strictly ongoing across the hardest hit regions. This has been Stella Maris, your citizen correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
A decade after starring in the most watched YouTube video in history, Park Jun-roo is stepping back into the spotlight, this time as a 17-year-old K-pop artist. Meanwhile, beloved children's entertainers Miss Rachel and her husband Aaron Apurso, Mr. Aaron, are officially bringing their viral musical magic from screens to speakers with the announcement of their first full-length studio album. Here's Faith Agustin for the showbiz.
The child star who stole hearts dancing alongside animated sea creatures in the 2016 viral sensation Baby Shark is officially embarking on his music career, now performing under the stage name Baby Shark Boy. He has partnered once again with the Pink Fong Company to release his debut single Wave, featuring Monsta X member Ju Honey, and their track drops on August 19th in the US and August 20th in Korea. Ganrung was just 6 years old when he filmed the iconic 2-minute clip, which has since racked up over 17 billion views and even helped propel the track to number 32 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 2019. To kick off his new era, Ganrung launched an Instagram account as Baby Shark Boy and shared a teaser video transitioning from the nostalgic Baby Shark choreography into the pop beats of his new single. The Pink Fong Company clarified that Baby Shark Boy may be one-off project depending on the song's reception, emphasizing that the focus is on authentic storytelling. Fans can also look forward to a behind-the-scenes documentary titled Wave, a Boy's Record, set to be released following the single, which will reflect on the 10-year span since the original video shoot, narrated by Ganrung himself. Meanwhile, titled I'm So Happy, the 23-track project is set for release on September 25th, which will feature newly produced versions of fan-favorite hits and reimagined children's classics from their mega-popular YouTube series. Co-produced by Acurso and Grammy winner Scott Reset, the record highlights real organic instrumentation backed by a massive team of 19 vocalists and 42 instrumentalists. Miss Rachel explained that as a music educator, she loves the idea of children hearing real instruments like a clarinet on tracks like Iki Stiki Bubblegum, noting that music provides a wonderful way for people and parents to bond. The couple also took to Instagram to share their excitement, where Miss Rachel praised her husband's work on the arrangements, calling him a musical genius who poured endless effort into creating something special for families. Track highlights include original songs like I'm So Happy and Big Feelings, alongside revamped renditions of staples like Hop Little Bunnies. For eager young listeners and parents, the album's lead single I Love a Rainbow is already available on streaming platforms. This has been Faith Agustin, your global citizen correspondent, bringing you the latest show buzz.
Philippine weightlifting has another superstar in the making. Zamboanga City's Albert Ian de los Santos delivered a dominant performance at the Asian Youth and Junior Weightlifting Championships in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, taking home 3 gold medals and setting brand new world records on his 20th birthday. Carlo de la Peña has the latest sports news.
Talk about the ultimate birthday gift. Zamboanga City Pride Albert Ian de los Santos dominated the junior men's 70-kilogram division, lifting 141 kilograms in the snatch and 180 kilograms in the clean and jerk for a massive 321-kilogram total. The incredible performance earned him a clean sweep, up 3 gold medals, while setting brand new junior Asian and world records in both the clean and jerk and total lift. De los Santos, the son of former national lifters Alvin and Diwa, received high praise from Zamboanga City Mayor Kimir Olaso, who congratulated the young champion online, promising continued support for his athletic journey. Adding to the celebration, Rosalinda Faustino secured 2 bronze medals for the Philippines in the junior women's 57-kilogram class for her clean and jerk and total performances. These latest wins bring Team Philippines total tally to an impressive 31 medals, including 16 golds, 6 silvers, and 9 bronzes after 4 action-packed days of competition. Reporting for Newsline World has been Carlo de la Peña, bringing you the latest sports news.
And before we end, may be inspired with the words of the song. Start strong, finish strong. Quitting is not an option. And that's all for this edition of Newsline World. For God in my beloved country, the Philippines, I'm Prince Tripoli. Thank you for watching and goodbye.
This is SMNI News Channel. Truth that matters.